Hey, cats. Today we're going to talk about what could be the end of the American dollar, all right? And the push to get it there. You know the deal? You want to hit? There you go.
She's steady asking me if my soul is safe. Yeah, it's in the deep freeze and it's gonna stay that way. I don't give a fuck if you're mad, you can die, man. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, cats, welcome in. Good morning to you, Sunday morning. So, like I said, today we're talking about the American dollar, whether it's going to be here, and who's trying to fucking kill it, right? So, I'm sure plenty of you are aware that, the recent dealings with Saudi Arabia have not gone well for old bedriddens, okay? He's begged them to increase oil production. What did they do? They turned around and decreased oil production. He's called, and been left, B buttoned, go to fucking voicemail, you see now, fuck. And, basically what has propped up the American dollar for all these decades is the fact that it is the world trade currency, which means you must trade for oil in American dollars, okay? OPEC being, at the time, the largest oil producer on the planet. And obviously Saudi Arabia is in the center of this, right? And without them, it's not going to be being traded in American dollars anymore. We're going to have to move on to some fucking dumb shit because manufacturing's gone. Our farming is shit now at this point, right? Nobody wants our food unless they're fucking starving because it's all, genetically modified, chemically fucking treated trash. You know what I'm saying? And so if the oil part is taken away, what's left? Okay. You have now Saudi Arabia coming out saying that they would like to join BRICS. The BRICS nations, okay, which is basically a conglomerate of some of the most powerful economies on the planet or up-and-coming economies on the planet joining together to basically trade in their own currencies or precious metals. In other words, fuck the United States, right? And this comes after Saudi Arabia calling out the lizard carcass in chief, old Biden's here, for quid pro quo, right? For threatening to withhold weapons sales in the defense of their country because they refuse to hold him up for midterm season in oil production. All right? And yes, that's real shit. Okay, I mean, anything I say here, man, I not only have I researched myself, but I make sure that it's topics that are easily findable on any search engine. You know what I'm saying? Again, quid pro quo. Okay, remember they fucking they tried to impeach Trump over a bullshit call where there wasn't even distinct things mentioned with fucking the old cross-dresser Zelensky. And Zelensky came out and said, no, there's no quid pro quo. But Saudi Arabia is literally saying, yeah, quid pro quo, man. This guy's attempting to influence the United States political landscape through a 30-day increase in oil production. Not a year, not like let's be flexible, for the next couple years, I'll try to offset the whole, making ourselves dependent on energy coming from foreign places while the Ukraine's rages on, right? But, just this right here, Saudi Arabia, if this goes through, they join BRICS, I can promise you that the ever-decreasing value of the dollar will speed up exponentially in the first 24 hours. I mean, we're talking a good 70% of the buying power that it has left, which is fucking not much. All right, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It costs a nickel to make a penny. Fucking let that sink in, all right? And so now you got Biden's coming out bragging that they've cut the deficit spending in half in a year. No, the fuck they didn't, man. All right, the COVID spending has started to wind down a bit. That's what the fuck is going on. How can you say you're cutting spending when every other day at this point it seems like there's a new multi-billion-dollar fucking package being sent out to fucking the most corrupt third world shithole on the fucking planet, right? The leftist fucking laundromat. But and then on top of that, again, you're seeing the decrease in your value. Okay, so basically, you got these leftists out here on television every day with the fucking talking heads, making up some shit. Basically, like inflation is fucking. It's an illusion. It's a fucking tool of the right, to cudgel the left for political gain instead of pointing out reality. Okay, and not that the right is innocent here. Basically bedriddens and Trumpsicles together printed 68% of all the American currency that's ever been in circulation. Real shit. Again, check that shit out for yourself. All right. But, the left does nothing but tax and spend. That is their modus operandi. All right. That is their main function. Is to figure out new ways to take your shit and spend it on frivolous fucking stupidity. Okay? But anyway, so he's bragging that he's cut the deficit spending in half, again, which is a joke. It's just the COVID spending winding down. He's increased spending, and to show you that he's not really trying to be fiscally responsible, that it's a show, all right? There's a looming battle, okay, I'm going to say because Republicans love to steal defeat from the jaws of victory. But, in the instance that Republicans, win these midterms in predicted fashion, they're worried about them using the debt ceiling as a way to push forth, bill wins, basically, legislation wins. And instead of, Biden's playing the fiscally responsible thing to the end, asked about if he would support eliminating the debt ceiling, he says, no, not altogether. That would be irresponsible. In other words, we can raise it. That's not irresponsible. Fucking, it's strapping future generations down with more and more debt daily. That's not irresponsible. Just taking the credit limit off would be irresponsible, right? Fuck. I mean, it's not going to get better. I can promise you it's going to get a lot worse. Okay? Again, the left is now pointing shit out, inflation in particular, as being just a political tool. Okay? And it should piss you off. I mean, they think you're an idiot. You know what I mean? They think that you don't realize that all these higher prices and, the way things are fucking crumbling around you is due to their policies. They want you to believe that it's because of the party that's not currently in power. Fucking whoa, And unfortunately, like I said, many previous times, I'm in Arizona now, but my original home, where I was born is Michigan. And it seems to be becoming a shining example of what you don't want politically, right? It's a darker California, I guess. And darker, I mean by there's fucking 8 months of snow and fucking gray. It definitely wasn't a racial thing, okay? Before anyone, right? But I'll leave you with a little clip from, a good old Democrat fucking politician from my home state that will break it down for you on how it's all the Republicans' fucking, political fucking sham to use against you to warp your mind. Right? Inflation's not raw. And they like to use the fact that inflation is happening around the world and in some countries at higher rates as a reason behind it's happening here. Well, again, America is the world trade currency, so goes the American dollar, so goes everybody else's shit at this point in time. Again, many countries trying to change that. All right? But again, appreciate you coming. Like, share, subscribe. check out this short little 2-minute clip here, and smell you later.
And listen, one of the things I want to talk to you about specifically is this conversation that I just had about inflation. I do not want to belittle anybody's experience with inflation. We are all feeling it. We are feeling it in our daily lives. It is real, but it has been transformed into something that Republicans, in particular running for Congress, are blaming Joe Biden and Democrats for specifically, when in fact there is no economic evidence or mathematical evidence or any other kind of evidence that that's actually true.
It's absolutely not true. I was just reading China and looking at the UK and other countries that are going through a global epidemic when it comes to our economy. And we have done so many things in this administration to create jobs, to keep the housing market open, which we know jobs and manufacturing and housing are some of those key things that stimulate our economy. This is a very uncomfortable time right now for anyone, because everyone needs to go get gas, and we're constantly reminded that inflation is happening. And we in Michigan has a very clear history of how when the economy doesn't work, when manufacturing stops, how we lose jobs. We went through the housing crisis, one of the worst. And so it is important to us. But isn't it interesting with everything else that's going on in the world? That is the sole issue that the Republicans can rest on. And as we fight for democracy, bringing back voting rights, making it safe and accessible. When we talk about rights for women to choose, when we talk about education in the crisis that student debt is putting on our economy, lawsuits are filed. But that's their single issue, and you can say what you want about a Republican, but they know how to market their agenda.
I was going to put him...
Idiots.